most in-depth discussions and the most...
Tune in to UFO Undercover, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, with your host, Joe Montaldo, right here on the Paranormal Radio Network.
Welcome to the Church of Mabus. We're back from the dead after a little hiatus last week. We had a guest that did a no-show, so I basically got pissed off and just didn't do a show at all last week. So we're back. Our guest is here, which is a good thing. Just a few things before we get started. We have Caesar with us. Caesar, just real quick, pronounce your last name for everybody, because I don't want to mess it up. I know I will.
You can say Radigi.
Radigi.
That's good. There you go.
I was like Ratagui.
Yeah, it's Basque. So, but
where are you from originally?
Originally I'm from Peru, but the Radiguis came from Spain, the northern part of Spain. They're Basque. And, they have their own language and whatnot.
Cool. Well, let me touch base on a couple of things, and then we'll get started.
All right.
Big week for marijuana. It looks like it's about to become legal. If it's not 100% in stone, but it's definitely knocking on heaven's door in Congress. They've finally come to their senses, and it looks like there's a big possibility it's about to be legalized. They're going to leave it up to the states to decide, which kind of scares me because I'm in the South, and, well, the South sucks. And being in Florida with, the morons down here that run Florida and all the other places around here, I don't know how that's going to go. But a lot of people are trying to push the legalization. Ron Paul, a lot of people. So, there's a big, big chance that it's going to be legalized, even though Big Pharma is going to control it, and it's probably going to be like getting, Percocet or, Valium or whatever. You're going to get it from your doctor. I don't even know if they're going to do dispensaries. I know the DEA is starting to grow. Which is pretty funny. And basically, it's a big week. I even saw Russia starting to open up dispensaries everywhere. So there's a big grass movement happening this week, which is beautiful. If it, which is a good thing. Hopefully it, reaches down here in the South, which the South is behind about 30 years. So, they're all waiting for Jesus to come back and hand them a new planet while they piss on it. So I'm not quite sure how they're going to handle, marijuana down here. We'll see what happens. They may, the greedy scumbags that they are, they may, see the price tag on it and go for it. So that would be nice. Be nice to have a nice little prescription of some pot.
Yeah,
so,
the lobbyists will go in there. The pharmaceutical lobbyists will go in there and say, we want this legalized, and It'll be legalized.
Yep, and they're seeing the price tag on it pretty much is what's going on, and there's a lot of money to be made, and we can basically save our entire country, from financial deficit if it, goes through. And it looks like it's probably going to, but it's not 100%, but it's damn near close to it. And I hope it does because I'm a big advocate of pot. I love pot, love it to death, love it to life. It's the tree of life, baby, the healing trees to heal nations. And I would love to just be able to go to Walmart and get it, but I'm sure you'll have to go to a doctor. I don't know if they're going to do dispensaries or, who knows what they're going to do to it. Like Greg Miller was just talking about with GMOs, they'll probably start genetically modifying it and putting all kinds of crap in it to kill us, like they do with cigarettes. So. Oh yeah, man, it'll be super weed. Yeah, super death weed. Smoke this and die. But another thing, there's an asteroid going by the Earth on Monday, 8,500 miles away from the Earth. They're saying it's going to miss us, but it's pretty close. That's pretty close, really. That's what everybody says anyway. 8,500 miles passing the Earth. Asteroid. I think it's about the size of a house. I think that's the word on the street. So
yeah, they just discovered it too. It's not like they've known about it. It's like, oh, look at this.
Yeah. Maybe it'll smack into some of these GMO people or some of these Republican hot houses.
Yeah.
Wishful thinking, right? Let me guess now HARP's going to tune into it, and they're going to direct it to hit Minnesota.
There you go.
What else? Big week for me. My girlfriend's moving in with her son this week. I won't be a hermit anymore. I'm adjusting to that. Also, an old friend's visiting me, Brian Mangrum, Chico from my old heavy metal drug Marilyn Manson concert Metallica days. He's coming to stop by. He's coming by late in the week. He's in Panama City right now. It's real close to me, but he's coming by later in the week. We're good now. If any of us did the kind of stuff we did back in those days, we'd be in the emergency room dying from a heart attack. But me and him used to go to Manson concerts and stuff, so I haven't seen him in 10 years. So big social week for the Hermitly Wizard this week. Also, we did a book deal with Inner Traditions, otherwise known as Barron Company. And basically, I know they've come to a lot of people on the network, and they're always trying to get guests on, like Nigel Kerner and several others, trying to get them on people on the network. And basically, I told them, hey, I'll let you schedule guests for September and October in exchange for review copies from each of the guests for me and Guy. So basically, we make off with about 10 books apiece. I'm poor. The books are like $20 a piece. So hey, that's 10 free books apiece, and they're organizing our schedule for September and October. And so far, they are working on a voodoo dude, the voodoo doctor, and also we already have October 29th. Iroquois ghost stories, so Native American ghost stories. That's already set in stone for the 29th. So looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to free books because I rarely ever get to buy books, ever. So to get all those free cool books sounds good to me. So looking forward to that. They're going to handle the schedule for September and October, and that's going to be pretty nice. Next week on Saturday is Greg Van Hassler and Richard Valdez. We're going to have an afterlife discussion panel about ghosts and the dead and what happens to you when you croak. So that's next week, Saturday, of course. And that's it news-wise. Let's get to our guest. Caesar, how are you doing?
Great. Thank you so much for inviting me. To allow me to, speak in front of your listeners, which I believe it's a good amount of people. This is my second interview on an American radio, and I'll be glad to share my experiences.
Oh, yeah. Originally, Thomas Reed told me about you and wrote me and had somebody bail out and got you in on the gig, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. I've named the show Skipping the Rift, Alien Contactee Experience Traveling Through Interdimensional Doorways, the Chilean Perspective. So we're going to get into that, and I guess if you would, just briefly tell us a little bit about yourself, Caesar.
Sure. I was born and raised in Peru, in Lima, Peru. I lived in the mountains for about 5 years. My dad used to work as an engineer for an American company. Since I was a little kid, my dad used to take me to the movies almost every weekend, me and my brother, and I would always ask him to buy me this little magazine, which was about, paranormal information since I was a kid. Then later on, as every family, we moved to Lima, and things changed. When I came to the States back in 81, one of the books that changed my life, from Six of Us, one of the world-known contactees, I read it, and it was like, wow, it was so amazing. And ever since that date, I was starting to go to different outings in different places in the world, and I was a witness of a first encounter of a second type, even the third type, in different countries in the world.
Oh, yeah. Tell us about your first contactee experience with these beings. What was the first experience like, if you could get into that?
Okay. The one I was, we were like 300 people. This was in Valencia, Spain, 2004. Through telepathic communication, I belonged to the group, to the meditation contact group called Rama. It was born in 1974 in Lima, Peru. And they had an outing, worldwide outing in Valencia. It was the first one in Europe. And I was fortunate enough to be there, and, the beings showed up at the time they said, at the place they said, and we, all of them, 300 people, were witness to that. We received what's called sesame crystals. I can tell you a little bit about that in a little bit if you like, but sure. What the purpose is and people who received it, what is the main reason for it, and people daily are doing this, I would say.
Well, that's the big thing that has me so fascinated about your interview. It's just this whole perspective that I don't know much about, and compared to the, American perspective, it seems like there's more knowledge and information that you guys know about these beings. In America, it's more of fear, fear, fear. We're going to steal your ova and your sperm and take your DNA and, smash your brain, Hollywood aliens. We're going to eat your souls. So it seems like you have a perspective that I want to learn more about. And it seems 300 people got together to have this event happen. How did they know that the event was going to happen? Did the aliens tell them it was going to happen? Was it a channeling?
Well, in the group, we have different people that are antennas. You don't have to be an antenna. You can become one. You can follow steps. One of the main things that we learn is that we need to learn how to breathe. We don't know how to breathe. And through meditation, we do this. We breathe very slowly. Inhale, count until 10, hold it, count until 10, and let go, count until 10. Just to begin with. You can do that like 3 times each time, and what you do is you oxygenate all your blood, and you do yourself a favor because you become more aware of what's going on. You become more aware of your surroundings. Instead of becoming too dense, every time we eat, we become too dense. That's why it's good sometimes to fast or to eat light. So we are more ready to see things that normally we would not be able to.
So what were you talking about? Did you say crystals?
Yes, the sesame crystals, they are like pyramid-shaped crystals which appear in the palm of your hands when they are drop chips, and they're luminous cones. Sometimes they are, when they fell in your hand, you feel like the dry ice, very cold. And someone who has already the crystals with them, they see when they fall in your hand, and they'll put them in your chest. Right hand first, and then the left one. And it's dissolute. As soon as you put it in your chest, it just vanishes. But it stays on your body, I would say, for all your life, unless you have a very bad life, meaning you are, like to drink or use drugs or smoke. you would eliminate that through the urine when you go to the restroom. But if you become, have a better diet, eat less meat or no meat at all, for example, I'm just giving you examples, you would keep that in you. And what that does is you receive the monastic light, the violet light from the central monastic sun, which is in the central of the universe. And as you receive that, you become better. You can even become a better antenna. You even get less sick. You don't get sick pretty much. You start developing extrasensual ability to do not have. For example, we know that there's plaques in different caves in the world, and they have in scriptures that nobody can read, but the session crystals will allow you to read it. The true history of humanity is on those plaques stored in different caves that we know of, and tunnels in different places in the world, especially the ones I know in South America.
So these beings, how do the majority of the people view them? Do they view them as the creators of humankind?
Okay, that's a good question. The first contact was in 1974, February. We did not know what to do. How do we call you? Do we call you gods? Do we call you? No. Of course, they said no. You could call us like your elderly brothers, my older brother. I'm not better than you are. I'm just more evolutionized. That's all it is. So what they're doing here is they're learning through us the feelings. So they forgot the feelings. They became too mental. And by becoming too mental, they have to repeat, what you missed, what you forgot, which is feelings. And that's what they're doing through us. They're learning. So that's why every time you do something, you got to do it with a lot of feelings, and everything really summarizes in love and forgiveness. And they're learning this from us. As a matter of fact, I know already that they're feeling it already. They already relearned their lesson. And we're about to go into a higher dimension coming 22 of December 2012, like the Mayans said it. The Earth goes to the fourth dimension. The question is if you will go to the fourth dimension. You can see already the Earth is changing. You see the tsunamis, the earthquakes, everything, volcanoes erupting everywhere. Earth is already changing. It's not 2012. It's already happening, okay? But that's the time where Earth will go eventually to the fourth dimension. There is 12 suns and one main sun made out of gold, translucent gold. The main sun is in Madre de Dios, Mother of God in Spanish, is the name of a state, northeast of Cusco. That's what the main sun is, in a place called El Dorado or Paititi. So that sun, with 12 other suns all over the world, will synchronize themselves coming 22 of December 2012, and the whole planet will go to fourth dimension. Everything will become cleaner, better, and we need to do the best we can to also reach that fourth dimension.
Okay, so when you talk about 1974, is that with Sixto Paz Wells and someone named Carlos, the Rama mission?
Yes, what happens is that Sixto's father was the one investigating UFOs even before he was born. But he was doing more like in a scientific way, okay? So he went with his father to one of the meetings, and it caught his attention about, the meeting was with a group of people who were meditating. I guess they were from India or whatever. So the meditation part is what really caught him. Not making this a religion, but the practice of meditating, making you a better person. So that's what really got him started. And he said, maybe the news was out already. The Blue Book Project, I don't know if you know about this. Osma Project, that was going on at that time. So what really caught his attention is when he went to this meeting with his dad, one of the doctors at this hospital was speaking about maybe these beings want to talk to us, and space is not silence like we all believe. There's a lot of noise. So maybe they want to talk to us. The thing of it is we need to predispose ourselves. And how do we predispose ourselves? How about meditating? So he was adding one and two, and he started meditating with his mom and his sister in his house in Barranca, 1974. And what happens is during that meditation, during 15, 20 minutes, they said and agreed that whoever gets messages in his head, believing it's not from them, write it down on a piece of paper. And that's what happened. After 15, 20 minutes of meditating, inhaling, breathing, what happens, he started getting a message. His hand started moving very fast. He could not stop it. And he received a message from a being called Oxalc saying, living room of the house, good to have communication. You will soon see us. And his hand was still shaking. So what happened is the mom and the sister also said they received the same message. They said did not write it. What happened is the sister started calling every friend from Sixto. They were only 15, 16 years old, to repeat the same process the next day. But these are kids. They were asking him, they were forcing Sixto to do this thing again. He did not want to do it because he did not want to be ridiculized. But what happened is he gave in. He says, okay, just to prove that this is not true, I'm going to do it again with you. It was like 30 kids in his living room. And he repeat the same thing, and the questions were like kids, ask them if they know what kind of team I'm on, like the Redskins or the Dallas Cowboys, same thing. He would answer every single question right. There was this mom who was skeptic, of course, and he said, well, Sixto, if you are answering every question right, how about if you ask them, what kind of book do I have in my purse? Sixto not only told her what kind of books she has on her purse, he also said what page the bookmark was on. So that really changed the whole thing, because this was for real. And we needed to take this very seriously, and that's what everything got started. And then the meetings and contact started soon after that in Chilca, which is like 60 kilometers south of Lima. When, the ships came and the beings came, everything was a process. At the beginning, you don't know what to do. They're scared. They want to leave. But, this has been happening since 1974 up until today. The press has been 8 times, and 8 times they showed up, even press from here. So, and coming back to the question you were asking earlier, how come we don't know about this? Because there's good and bad forces all over the world. Everybody heard about the Illuminati. Everybody heard about the good and the bad guy. That's what's going on. But what happens is it's just too many people are talking about this. Too many people know about this. So right now, I would just, we tell people, don't believe what I'm saying. Just come and see. You prove it to yourself. That's how I started. I read and I saw everything, and it was like, wow. So then when I went out, and then I saw this was true, not only in Valencia, Spain, also in Easter Island, and at the same place, they said, at the right side of the volcano Poike, it was 23 of us, people from South America, especially from Argentina, Chile, Uruguay. We went there, and the ship, showed up, and it was at the right time. And they would not always show up, and you got to also ask questions. Why sometimes am I failing? We need to also study ourselves. We need to be very critical of ourselves to become a better person. And this I would tell everybody, because everybody can have contacts, but you need to learn exactly what's going on. There's, for example, a cosmic plan where the Earth was chosen to be the planet for these people to redeem themselves, because Earth is a planet with a blue aura, and we don't have too many planets with blue aura. I think it's only like 2 per galaxy or something like that. It's very unstable. And the planet is unstable, people also become unstable. But we can overcome that. We need to learn how to overcome that, because we mimic what the environment we're living in. For example, if look at the beaches. Not every planet has the beaches with the waves so hard, for example, or the tides and everything. Things can change. We can overcome that, but we need to believe it to create it. We need to believe to create. Everybody knows that we're only using one part of our brain. We've got to ask why. Why are all these things happening? There's a reason for every little thing. I don't know if you have any more questions. I don't want to go on and on.
Hey, Cesar, how does the experiences that you had with the ships and the beings, how does that relate to all the other experiences everybody else is having, like with abductions and stuff like that? Are they the same, or are they different?
Okay, no, it's good that you are asking about the abductions. Everybody knows about the abduction case that happened with this sergeant from Chile in Rancagua. Those smugglers, he does not belong to the group, okay, but he crossed one of the sendras. It's called sendra. It's like a luminic door and maybe about an inch thick, and you cross it and you're somewhere else, very far away. It disintegrates your molecular cohesion, and you may feel maybe some headache and some dizziness, and you will be somewhere else. he was not prepared. Okay, this was a very known case. He was not abducted. He just crossed one sendra in this place between Peru and Chile, and when he came back, he had a full-grown beer, a 5-day full-grown beer, but he did not remember. His watch was even fast 5 days. So he had to go to therapy, hypnosis, to find out what really happened to him. But when you know what you're doing and you cross the sendras, you're prepared, and you can be pretty much taken somewhere very, very far, or start awakening abilities within you that are extrasensorial, messages. It depends what they think you need, they'll give it to you. It's them communicating with you, not with you with them.
Yeah, but we hear reports of abduction stuff where people are being taken by greys, reptilians, there's praying mantises in there. There's just all sorts of stuff. There's like supposedly like 57 different types of beings. Are you dealing with just one type of being, or is there like a whole, do they all belong like to the same consciousness or something like that?
That is a good question. We're being visited by 60 different denominations. 60, okay? So what also happens is we need to be awakened. We need to be aware, because what they're telling us is don't worry too much about looking on the sky. Worry about your world, because the good, the bad, and the ugly are here, okay? What happens is since the early 80s, I believe, what these beings have done, they have placed on Earth a quarantine, so nobody can come and harm us, okay? Many people know about this UFO that crashed in Roswell, correct? Now, they were coming to harm us. They were shut down, okay? And that was not the only one. More than one UFO has been shut down because they come in with bad intentions, and the international cosmic, police, if you will, they shut them down because the quarantine is enforced. So if they come to do something on us, they're going to be knocked down, and they put a lot of stuff on the internet. It's very difficult because people are confused. I would only say 5% of what's on the internet is believable on the UFO subject, okay?
Yeah, I would go less than that.
Yes. For example, if you see the autopsy they made, that's all false. It's false. The truth is, yes, the UFO went down. Yes, this is what happened. We need to be aware because right now, the Illuminati and company, they're using what? People of weak character and everywhere, not only in Hollywood or politicians or even in churches, everywhere. So we need to be aware and prepare ourselves, and we can do that. So we don't become victims of them, following to their own, whatever they want, to their own wish. So at this point we just need to awaken our consciousness, because many people outside, they're asleep. Everybody's asleep. So through the meditation, it really helps you a lot, and we learn that our body, which is multiple, we have like 7 different bodies, and we need to learn ourselves, for example, about our astral body. Every time we go to sleep, our astral body goes out, and we can even learn processes of being consciously and just go out on our astral body, and you can go as far as you want only with this, with the speed of your thought. And that is amazing because you can do a lot more on your astral body. And you're not going to leave your body because you are tied to it with the silver cord. And all this is on our Bibles. You're not doing anything. I'm just saying some of the things was omitted or was not told to us, but more info is coming out. More info is coming out. So, like I said, I'm learning from other people. I'm very, I don't know everything, but what I've learned, it's enough for me to share it with people, and that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, the whole thing is a journey,
Definitely.
And, each person's, I think each person's, realization, that aha moment it's different for everybody, and for some people it may never come,
Sure. We're living in such a special era right now on Earth. We need to realize that because, you see, they teach us, you die and you go to heaven or hell. There's more than that. We're immortals. What's going to die is our flesh. But ourselves, we're just going to transcend to another life. And we need to learn who we were. Try to awaken our third eye by simple exercises. And you're going to learn who you are through meditation. And you're going to see exactly the purpose of you here and wherever you are. If you're in Ohio or in D.C. or in L.A., what am I doing here? Once you awake and you find out what the true meaning of life is, because we're here for a purpose, okay? We're not really living, not even in real time. And people need to realize that. We're not living in real time. We're living in an alternative time. If this was even proved by sending one of the shuttles to find life somewhere else, they took a picture on Earth from Jupiter, they found no life on Earth. And this is the vehicle who's looking for life somewhere else cannot even find life on Earth. What happens is that Jupiter is in real time, but Earth, in real time, there's no life on Earth. There will be coming 22 December 2012. So for all this, beings that are high up on the 10th dimension, you and I are on 3rd dimension right now, but beings that are on the 10th dimension, like Saint Michael or Satan, they are up there. They're like, they were allowed by God himself to create an alternative time for them to relearn what they lost, the feelings, Once they learn that, we need to find out the way. This is our job. They're going to find a way to unite both times, the real and the alternative times. That's why in our Bible we see in the first page, in the end of times, there's a big S. It's a plural. It's 2 times. It's not only 1, it's 2 times. So once comes 2012, the 22nd of December, we are confident, but we cannot, we need to keep working. We need to keep doing this everywhere. Because I've been to maybe 5 or 6 outings, and I've seen what I've seen, and I know more and more people, because this group is like in 40 countries already. And
So what about atheists? There's a lot of very good, smart people who are atheists and good, caring, loving people, and they don't believe in the Bible. They don't believe in stuff like that.
There's no problem. I went when I went to Chile. One of the big shots from the government, he did not believe in anything, but he came with us, and the only thing we told him, hey, listen, many times we do fast, okay? But we told him, you don't have to fast, but you have to meditate with us. So he did come with us. Matter of fact, I share a room with him, When he saw, when we got, with not only 1, maybe 2 or 3 antennas get different messages, but he saw when we got the message saying they were going to show up on the right side of the volcano Poike the next day, and of course the whole message, which is, maybe a sheet of paper. And then, important information. We all went, and the time came, and the ship showed up, in front of us. And he was the first, acceptic of the UFO. It showed up. So maybe he was atheist, okay? But it don't matter. We tell people, come and see. You don't have to believe me. You just come and see. Do yourself a favor, I'm not trying to convince nobody. I'm just letting people think. Just think what's going on. And if things are going on right now in other places in the world, and maybe we're blinded here for some reason. I don't know. But I have to...
What can you tell us about the first time you crossed through a Zendra luminant door? You actually crossed through one to go to another dimension, so to speak, or to go to where they are, correct?
Yes, this was in Punta Colorado in Uruguay. We all crossed the Zendra, okay? It was 300 of us. And me, myself, I was always asking questions, and I tell people the same thing. Ask questions, and ever since I crossed that Zendra, I started channelizing messages, okay? You can pretty much go somewhere else. Some people were taken somewhere else. You can be taken very far away, okay, very far away. But ever since that happened, I started channelizing messages. But what I tell people, I'm not the important. The important thing is the message itself, what these people are trying to convey. And they're trying to guide us. That's what we call them. We call them guides, and mutual agreement. So if probably you cross the Zendra, you probably are going to feel something different. It depends on what they think you need. You can be transported somewhere else very fast, and that happens because Zendras are pretty much on almost all the outings.
So as far as 2012, many people think nothing's going to happen, but no matter what you think is going to happen, there is a alignment that's going to occur that is very bizarre and only happens, every 26 or 36,000 years, right?
I understand. The change is going to be more for these beings than for us, okay? So, the worst fear you should have, the worst fear that human beings should have, worse than AIDS or whatever, cancer, should be to ignorance. you should not be ignorant of the time we're living. Okay, if you prepare yourself, from 21st to 22nd, it's not going to be, too big of a change. Okay, it just marks an era. Earth is going to be more pure. You got to prepare yourself before you die, I would say, because you want to be on the fourth dimension. And there's ways to do that. I know people are building bunkers or whatnot all over the world. I mean, let them do whatever they want to do. What I'm doing is I'm trying to know more and to share this information with other people. It doesn't matter who you are. I'm just, transmitting this information to you. I welcome people to go to any of the outings and see for yourself, because these things are happening too quick. And our time is different than their time. When the Sixto Crosses Sendra, he was like 5 days over there in one of the moons of Jupiter and Ganymedes. And when he came back, it only passed 15 minutes here. Only 15 minutes. So the time is different. Very, very, very different. Now, going back to your question about atheists, they can believe in whatever they want to believe. It's something that it's common sense. That God exists, it's something that you have to realize something. If everything is in such a perfect order, the suns, the planets, the orbits, I know there's asteroids and whatnot, but there's got to be a superior being. And that's, their God is our God. They tell us that the God they know is through different manifestations, but they don't pray or adore Him the way we do it. Okay? So we do it differently. But it's the same God. It's the same God. Now, I don't know what else to tell to an atheist. I mean, if I would tell him, it's just come and see. That's all I can tell him. Realize that we're not by ourselves. We've never been alone. And this is our fifth attempt, actually. We went through this already 4 times. And we need to make it this time because we don't want to stay an alternative time forever and just get lost. We need to go in, and that time comes on the 22nd of December, 2012. The change is going to be more for this beings than for us. But yes, once we are born again, we want to be in fourth dimension because what happens when you're born again and you're not in fourth dimension, you're going to stay on third dimension, but it won't be on this planet because this planet will become fourth dimension. You're going to be reborn on another planet like Earth right now for another 25,000 years. That's the amount of time it takes our solar system with all the planets to rotate around M31 until it goes into the next dimension.
Is this something that they told you?
Yes. So it's something that it's more serious than what you believe in. If you think it's worthwhile to learn more about this, I'll be glad. I can share my email. I can tell you, we can talk about this later. But I'm telling people this is more serious than what you think it is. It's not. People are too busy watching a Hollywood movie about 22nd of December 2012 or end of the world, whatever. The bad wants us distracted. He wants us distracted. So let's not fall prey to that game. That's my advice. Okay?
So when you're at these locations to meet these beings in the ships with all these people, is there any resistance from the government of these countries that you're in?
Well, I know the experience. Chamorro, this is the Air Force guy from Peru. He's concerned about safety of the airplanes. He's only saying that, I guess, because he needs to say something. These ships are way so advanced, they're not going to hit one of our planes. Come on. We've been seeing the ships here, too, in the United States, but we don't see them as frequent as we see them in other places, in for example, in Montevideo, Uruguay, or Easter Island, or Spain. They show up time after time, and governments are opening their books. England did it, Australia did it, Japan did it. USA is not doing it. I would not bother. NASA has already said something, and the CIA has already said something. It's too much information. You cannot cover the sun with your index finger. You cannot.
Yeah, listen. Those files that they released were just the reports that they had on UFO, stuff like that. They didn't release anything about tech or private industry or any of the stuff they got from from if they actually had crafts or something like that. You know what I mean? They just released all the stuff that people were calling up and saying, "Hey, I saw a UFO." I want to ask you, when you say, craft show up, Are you talking about just lights in the sky, or are you talking about actual craft? Like where you can see a physical craft, or is it more of a just encompass all these sensories, like all the things that you have with sight, smell, feeling?
Okay, it depends on your preparation, okay? I got messages saying we're flying over your city at this time, and you can ask questions too, okay? These are things that people can develop later on, okay? I don't want to be a showman, because it's not me, okay? But then things come, okay? And if you want to see these beings, and if you want to see them come out of the ship, and you want to go into the ship, you need to give more. If you want more experiences, you also need to give more. Because if you only give, let's say, 10%, you're only going to get back 10%. Okay? So your experience cannot be my experience. I can tell you this. Many of the people have had experiences of the third, the fourth, even the fifth type. Okay? The fifth type. And this is going into the ship and getting out of here. That has happened many times. And not only in Peru, Chile, Dominican Republic, Mexico. This is happening. Okay? But like I said, I don't want to be a showman. What I'm going to tell people is, put your hand in your heart, and, you got to realize where you want to go next. Time is getting very short. So right now, I'm just doing my job. I'm telling people, hey, listen, this is what I know. This is what I've seen. If you want to know more, of course I can share more information with you. I can give you my email. But, this is something that I'm not a showman. What I've seen is enough. It's enough because I've seen it more than once. Okay? And not only, even in London, okay? I can tell you, it can happen anywhere. Ashburn, Virginia, okay? Places that you would not believe, but if you're prepared, they know you're prepared because they read your aura. They see your aura from their ships. Because on your aura, it's also, they can tell, we got to find out who we really are, okay? Right now, you may be Jeff, I'm Caesar, but you got to find out who you really are, and that's your cosmic name. And once you know your cosmic name, that's the name you had throughout all your lives. You got to mold it, you got to meditate it, and then you're going to relearn more about yourself and going to be capable of more. Because we, for some reason, fell prey of something that happened to us, and we cannot use our brain the way we should. But by knowing our cosmic name, we are capable of more. Okay, so that will be one of the first steps. The cosmic name is one of them. The cesium crystals is another one. And then we can probably think about the ships, going down and me seeing them. I'm not too worried about that. It's just, start at the beginning, learn about the process, about the cosmic plan, why the Earth was chosen, where we are, and what's going to really happen on 2012. Nothing to be afraid of. It's just learn about the process, about the history, why we are where we are, and what's expected of us. That's the main thing.
Are you allowed to tell us your cosmic name?
You know what? I would love to, but there's many cosmic names out there. I was giving mine, and it's something kind of personal, but there's many cosmic names. I can show you different cosmic names, but it's just like saying Caesar, but it's my own cosmic name, and I got to mold it. I got to, work it and become a better person. I'm not the same person from before when I started this from now.
Let's say right now, just hypothetically speaking, there's a dude that is on his couch. He's overweight. He watches TV. He eats Twinkies. He, eats Little Debbie's. He's a wreck. He's just a mess. What can he do to start to prepare himself for these encounters and to, for humanity? What would be the first steps to prepare yourself?
Good question. The first thing to do is I can send him information, maybe read a book, because if you go to an outing and you at least don't know the basics, you're not going to be prepared. If a sender shows up, I'm sorry, you're not going to be chosen because they know you're not prepared. It's like asking you to go to the blackboard and you don't even know how to write your name. You need to learn how to, the letters. So everything is a step by step. I can give you information. I'm going to give my email is just my first and last name at gmail.com. Caesar.Reategui, Reategui, @gmail.com. And there's literature out there. I'll be glad to give you that. And the basic thing to do right now is read and understand where we are. because there are outings. Most of them are for people who are at least have read one of the books. There's like 14, 15 books. I know there's one in English, but, at least you got to know about the cosmic plan, what's going on, what am I here for, find out about yourself. One of the antennas can pretty much look at you and tell you this is your cosmic name. So then you work it. You meditate that cosmic name. You can even try it right now. Ask yourself when you go to bed, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? And depending on your state, don't go to bed too late. Don't watch the news before you go to bed. So, your subconscious is not, so influenced by all the stuff you've seen recently. You just go to bed and then meditate that. Meditate. And then maybe you're going to receive any. And then we can confirm and tell you, yeah, that is your cosmic name. Usually it's got 2 syllables. Tell you exactly where you're from, where do you come from. In many of the outings when we go, many of the people who have the same ending, cosmic names, maybe ending on am, meet together. Maybe we knew each other on a past life, for example. Okay, and this happens over and over. When I go to these outings, and because you have your name tag, and they see your name, and then you're an so and then they know who you are and where you come from. It doesn't matter where I live, but basically, it tells more about yourself. I can tell you basically. Let me see. I think I have here. If you have another question, just go ahead. Let me see if I can find this thing about the cosmic names.
Yeah, but why would I need to buy a book?
You don't have to buy a book. I can send you information.
I'm just asking, Caesar, because for someone not listening to this show and who has no idea who you are, there's a lot of lost people out there,
mm-hmm.
and most people just walk into a church now. They think that's, and for a lot of people that is. A lot of people that does help a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
People are not going to know. Basically what I'm hearing from you is there's only one path to walk down. If you don't walk down that path, you're going to get left behind.
I can give you information. It's free on the internet as well. Okay. Let me just tell you, for example, what a cosmic name is. It's a vibration, a unique key that identifies each one of us. The vibration indicates who we are, who we have been, our auric colors, our mission, and the sum total of our evolution throughout our existences. In Rama, the cosmic name is given when a person is ready to receive it. It is repeated in meditation as a mantra to raise the person's vibration to the higher planes of knowledge. When done at the right moment, the repetition liberates us from barriers about the knowledge of the micro and the macrocosm. The guides have the capability to ascertain the ascendant vibration or cosmic name of a person. They reveal it to us only with our approval. Once we have begun our own process of self-knowledge, this initiation into our inner key of development accelerates our vibration, and so forth. I mean, there's more information here, but you can accelerate your vibration of your whole body. I can tell you this, but this is a program limited. For example, to raise your vibration, right now, usually human beings are on a 3.3 vibration. We need to lift it up a little. You can lift it up a little if you, for example, fast, if you meditate your cosmic name, and some of the other mantras, okay, like Rama or other mantras that are known. Om, for example, in the Akashic, Om, like meaning God. So you meditate those, and there's ways for you. That way, you raise your level higher. And when you raise it, guess what? These beings lower theirs. They're already on 4th. They lower to 3.8, 3.7, and you are lifting yours to 3.5, and that's when contact begins. You lift your vibratory being, and they drop theirs, and that's when contact begins. So you can even see them, okay, in one of the outings. I'm just giving you information that I have, that I've seen, and I experienced myself. So it's not hidden. You don't have to buy the book.
Okay, no. I'm not, Caesar. I'm not trying to give you a hard time. I'm just saying, just from the, everyday Joe out there, how do people, what's the best thing for them to do? I mean, to get enlightened. You know.
Okay. There's outings for pretty much anybody. I can tell you, of course, with proper permission, when there will be, the time, and I can let you know. So you yourself can go, okay? But
yeah,
I can also... No, definitely. But this invitation is for everybody, but you need to better yourself, you know? I love to give you tips, you know, for example, how to breathe. For example, you know, what to eat or what to avoid, things like this. You know, but there's a lot of information. So, of course I want to give that to you, but I'm just giving you the tip of the you know, I'm just giving you the information that you can use to become a better person yourself, okay? And like I said, it's something that I went through the same process, okay? And I become a better person. I need to do some more. I need to do a lot more, you know. And to go into one of these events, that's when I met, you know, Tom, and it was a great person. And next thing I know, I'm sharing my information with you too. And I love doing this because I think by helping people, I'm helping myself. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the truth, and we need to stop being distracted. People are being too distracted with the soccer game or football or a movie or soap opera, whatever it is. We're too distracted, you know? So we need to realize...
Caesar, let me tell you something that I've realized in a couple of years about myself. In like 2003 through like 2000, you know, 7, I was completely, you know, dead inside. I was spiritually dead. What I did was I started sacrificing my time, finances, and stuff like that for other people, and going without so other people could have. And what that does is that's the ticket right there.
You're doing yourself
the more you concern yourself about what's with other people and around you, other than your material self, I'm telling you, peace of mind is just that it gives me is just incredible.
You touched on a very specific subject. I was on another radio station. I don't want to go over this. There's 7 different bodies that we have, and the cause and effect being one of them. Because nowadays, I don't even know who he was, but they're starting selling so many of these books with the correspondence. There's 7 principles. It's not only that. It's for example, the cause and effect. Whatever you do, this guy hit my mirror, and he broke my mirror. He left his phone number, and he came to me. And I told him, you know what? Thank you for paying that, but you're doing yourself a favor. Because if not, it's going to go back to you, you know, or during this life or next life, you know. In this, we have examples, you know, one after the other. You know, just becoming a better person because everything is happening so fast. But you doing good, yes, you're doing good for yourself, for your own self, you know, for maybe next life or whatever. Have not you seen other people saying, why is everything bad happening to this lady? She's a nice person. Maybe she has something in debt from a previous life or something, you know? So people need to realize this. We're living in a very special moment in life. Very special moment in life, and we just need to do good, learn, and see why all these ships, all these UFOs are showing up nowadays everywhere, you know, and just look, the information is out there.
All right, guys, we got about a minute and a half before break.
Okay.
So, Caesar, if you want to give everybody your website, and if you got anything you want to...
Sure. Well, I have a blog. I can give it to you. It's in Spanish, actually. It's anatomy, in Spanish, anatomía, de un contacto, of a contact. Anatomía, ANATAMIADEUN, contacto, CONTACTO. I can also email it to you at blog, and then that's the blogspot, of course. I don't know, maybe I can talk about something else after the break, if you like.
Oh, definitely. We'll have about 50 minutes after the break, so we'll talk about that.
Great. Okay.
But what's your email again?
CESAR, my first name, dot, last name REATEGUI, gmail.com.
All righty. Well, we're going on break, so liquids and let them out if you got to, because we're going on break. That's right. Break time, baby.
Like the bottom of the ninth, and I'm never gonna win this. Life hasn't turned out quite the way I want it to be. Tell me what you want. I want a brand new house. My name is Mabus.
Welcome to the Church of Mabus. We're back with Caesar. That's right. We're just touching base on some topics we're going to
talk about. And I guess the first thing I want to talk about is when I was diagnosed with cancer at 17, I went crazy. I was 17. I woke up from exploratory surgery to find out one of my nuts was gone, and I had to go through about 3 to 4 or 5 months of chemotherapy. And then, of course, I was healed after having dreams and visions of medicine men and beings standing around me. And then as soon as I was healed, my father died, so I went crazy again. I started seeking the occult and spiritual things of the soul to find out, you know, what the hell's going on. Why was I so young and why was I going through all this trash? And basically, you know, ships started showing up around my home with multiple witnesses, Mom, you know, my brothers, my nephew, my sister. They're basically parking over my house. And during this time, I was scared to freaking death. I was scared to leave my house. I thought I was going to be sucked up in the sky. You know, I didn't want to get sucked up in the sky. I was terrified. These things were literally parked over the house. I can remember in certain neighborhoods, funny enough, one street was called Bermuda Street, like Bermuda Triangle, and there was a ship in the sky, and neighbors were outside pointing at it. They were so obviously showing up. And at the time, I was scared to death. I didn't know about aliens except like E.T., the movie. That was about the extent of my alien knowledge. Next thing you know, there are these weird things parked over the house, and I was scared shitless, you know. So I do believe Caesar's touching on some information that, let's say, if I knew more about it during that time, it would have been a breeze. It would have been like, hey, you know, got to meditate, raise my vibrations, and get in contact with these beings. It would have been a lot easier to go through that, knowing, you know, a lot of stuff Caesar's talking about, I know about on many levels, and I'm no expert, but he's reminding me from things that I've learned from reading shaman books and, you know, stuff like that, that this stuff is, definitely has to do with these creators, these beings coming in contact with us, and these things are things that we do that are preparation that enable us to have contact with these beings on, you know, a wider scale of reason, so to speak, to make it easier. Because I can remember seeing ships out in my yard and having friends next to me who couldn't see them either.
First of all, nobody is ready ever. You can think you can be ready and have all the information you need, but believe me, nobody is prepared mentally or physically when they get blindsided or ambushed with their first experience like that. Nobody, it just literally throws everything that you knew as a person out the window. And you don't go and reference a guide. You go, holy crap, And dude, what you just explained, preparing and all that, you just explained religion is what you just did. You just explained religion.
I don't know if I agree with that. What do you mean?
What you just explained about, working and preparing ourselves, beings and everything like that to be in touch again, you just described religion, except they're waiting for Jesus Christ, and they're doing their God work. It's exactly what it is.
I think it's a spiritual awakening and a process of basically raising your vibration to a level that these beings are already way past so they can communicate
What
with
vibration?
You.
How do you know what your vibration is?
We have vibrations. Everything
I know, but how do you know what yours is?
I don't know what it is, but I know if it's higher that I'm going to have a more pleasant experience.
How do you know if it's higher? How do you know if it's higher?
Because I'm sure you would feel it. You would be ecstatic. You'd be joyful. You'd feel good. You would feel better than feeling like crap.
Yeah, dude, but you get those same feelings for winning $100.
Yeah, well, that could touch base with it. I do believe there's an energy scale that, if you're low, you feel low. If you're high, you feel high. But there's a vibration, right?
I'm with you on that. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
And I think that, religion, though, I don't think the problem I have with religion is corrupt. It's murderous, war, rampage, and death and hypocrisy. Not all of it, but a whole big chunk of it. So what I mean is like, for instance, you have a guru or a shaman who is on a spiritual journey, and they meditate, and they raise their vibration so they'll be more in line with the spiritual world. It's like raising your vibration so you're at one with the spiritual world so you can be aware and see the spiritual world. I guess it's like breaking away from material reality on some level.
I know, but there's no gauge. There's no gauge to tell you where you're at the same vibration as the spiritual world.
Well, there's
not.
There's intuition.
Yeah, but dude, that only goes so far. Really. How do you know when you're there? And when you do get there, what do you do?
How did Buddha know?
Maybe Buddha doesn't know.
Gandhi.
Maybe they don't know. They just continue to walk the walk is what they do. They don't say, okay, I'm there.
Yeah, well, I think there's a point of enlightenment. You hit it and you just kind of like, no. Christ.
Yeah, and it'll be different for every person. Sorry, Caesar, we just kind of went off there.
No, don't worry. By you guys just being open to this subject, to this, that tells me that you're not, of course you are at a 3.3 at least. You know what I'm saying? There's other people who don't believe in nothing. I could very well say they're maybe on a 3.0 base, But
yeah, I'm not saying that I don't believe in what you're saying. How do I know I'm at a 3.3? How does one know that?
Okay, the average. We're told by these beings that the average human being, okay, it's a 3.3. 3.3 is such an intrinsic number in our society. We have 33 everywhere, okay? Our vertebrae, we have 33 vertebrae. Distance from here to the main galaxy is like 33 billion light years away. Everything is 33. Even Jesus died when he was 33. So the 33 has a very special meaning to it. You can become a better person? Yes. Can you elevate your vibration? Yes. There's ways how to do that. I already told you, Fasting is one way, maybe eating less meat. If you have to eat, maybe eat fish. You don't have to do it. This is something that I'm just giving you examples of things to do to become a better person. If you go to an outing and you don't see nothing, you need to look in your inside of you. What have I done wrong? Because some people are seeing, I'm not seeing. I have to do something maybe different. You know, you ask questions, people will give you the answer all the time, okay? Nobody is better than nobody. We're here together to become a better person. Okay?
One thing that strikes a chord with me real quick is I remember having a UFO sighting, and I'm sitting there going, look at that UFO, and I'm seeing it in plain sight, and there's a dude next to me who doesn't see a thing. and it
happens.
Like an idiot.
But you're gonna be more surprised when you see that UFO on a second dimension, on an encounter of a second type. When you get the message and they tell you they're going to show up here and then they show up there, that's going to get you going. Because almost anybody nowadays can see a UFO. You know what I'm saying? But when they tell you they're going to show up here, and then you can ask questions, then you're ready for the next step. You see what I'm saying?
Here's what I like about what you're saying. There's a whole side of ufology that renounces the spiritual. They don't look at the spiritual. They're scientific. They're in their lab coats. They're like, statistics and, tools and evidence and yada, yada, yada.
They're not
they renounce
studying
the spiritual side.
Okay.
It's all speculation. All you had is the spiritual side in ufology.
Yeah.
Really,
that's the only way I even can look at it.
You don't have ships parked on the ground that you can, you don't have ships parked on the ground that you can go and, test. You have a lot of anecdotal evidence, but that's it. Yeah, but that's it. So they can predict what they want because they're not scientists. All it is a existential what we're talking about here. This is what it is, and there's many different views on what that is. And this is one of them here we're talking about.
Well, let's talk about Caesar. When you go to these places where people believe these ships are going to show up they do believe it, and they do show up. Tell us about all the different kinds of people there. I mean, people come from all over the world to these events, and then these things happen, right? I mean, there's people from, Germany, Spain, wherever, and they all meet, and they have these events all at one time, right? I mean, that's got to be pretty profound for all these. I mean, it's like Close Encounters. Everybody's being led to, Devil's Mountain or whatever. It's got to be pretty strange.
Let me give you one example. I was in Easter Island about 4 years. We had a great experience there. But there was this lady who wanted her cosmic name, and she was kind of forcing it, And but guess what? She was also smoking. Are you going to do one thing or the other? If you're really into it, you got to be a better person. She was even smoking at this retreat. So how can you get a cosmic name like that? If you want to become a better person, you need to show it. You need to do it to yourself. But she did not get her cosmic name, and I don't know. She was involved in this reading cards, whatever. But I know if they're not showing that you are becoming a better person, of course, when we go out to an outing, she's not going to see nothing. You know what I'm saying? But yes, people go from different places. The one in Spain was a big outing. There's outings all the time. I was one in Punta Colorada, Uruguay, two years ago, and people from all over the world. And the experience happened. A big sender crossed us. It was on YouTube and the newspapers and the news, and it was astonishing, because everybody wanted to experience, and everybody got what they wanted. And we crossed it. It was amazing. One other thing I wanted to touch up on also is in Ganymede, one of the biggest satellites on Jupiter. There is life, artificial life. There's 12,000 terrestrials there from here. They've been taken away in different times during, for example, from the Bermuda Triangle or the Devil Triangle, different places like that. They've been taken to this place to relearn, and then they're reinserting these people on Earth through time. Okay, that's why you're finding more and more people talking about this with a different mentality, trying to, fight good and bad. Because if there's good, there's bad. You see a lot of bad people, but you also see good people. There's both. The only thing is that bad is better advertised. Okay, that's why you see more bad on the news and everywhere. But that's pretty much what's going on.
So what do you mean by the bad one? Is the bad one the being that Christian religion would call Satan? Are these beings? Let's say the bad one, we'll call him Dr. Satan or whatever. He's the bad guy. And is he pretty much, does he have a group of beings, perhaps, does this account for some of the negative experiences that people have with aliens, like they get taken and, probed and, hurt and scared to death and freak out? Does this bad being also manipulate mankind's DNA and, mess with us and do terrible stuff to people through, abduction experiences?
Yes, all of that, all of the above. For you to feel bad, for you to feel discouraged, for you to feel sad, all of this stuff is not going to help you go to the fourth dimension. It's not from God. It's not from the good guys. It's not from the white brotherhood. Okay? It's from the other side. Okay? They want you to feel that way. Okay? So you can probably start smoking or do pot or whatever. Okay? So Satan comes from Orion.
I got a big problem with that. I got a big problem with, I'm sure there are millions of smokers around the world that are wonderful, caring, giving people that sacrifice and do all of the things that non-smokers do. And, for them to be left out because they smoke a cigarette, they're
not being left out.
They're not able to see, or they're not able to walk the walk. I mean, who's to say that, the beings that you're experiencing aren't evil ones? And they're
no. Well,
manipulating.
Let me tell you something. I even smoked myself before. But let me tell you something. You can experience more if you become more pure. Okay? Let me put it that way. If you smoke, fine. But what I'm saying is, if you want to become a better person yourself, and it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Not because you smoke, you're going to be left out. No, that's not the case. Okay? But if you want more experiences, for example, then that's different. If a sendra materializes there, would you be able to go through that sendra? I don't know. I would think twice. I would not pull you in there. I don't want to be, some people can be traumatized. I don't know if you're not prepared. But what I'm saying is, the purer you become, the better you are, the closer you get to the good stuff, to the real information. Okay?
I would think that would be a spiritual purity. Really. I mean, I don't see how. You know what I'm saying?
I think there's smoking tobacco like it's cool, like the Native Americans do, like a ceremony, and then there's definitely abuse.
Well, let me tell you something what they're doing, and I'm gonna tell you this as a friend. When they're doing when you're smoking, you're even making holes in your own aura. Okay? And what's your aura? Your aura is your own protection. So you're harming yourself big time, not only your lungs. I'm talking your own aura. Because once you make holes in your own aura, guess what? That transcends from one life to the next. So that's even worse. Okay? Just giving you an example of what I know, what happens. Okay? So it's not that they're going to be left out. No. It's just they need to realize what they're doing. We need to be awake. I don't care if you smoke. I really don't. Okay? What I'm saying is just we need to relearn this whole thing. Where are we at? What are we doing here? Where do we go from here? We need to be awake.
Well, I think the thing that we're talking about with cigarettes is like, let's say you're somebody that smokes cigarettes that come from Marlboro, like and Greg Miller and stuff was talking about, people modify stuff. So these cigarettes from Marlboro, from this big, corrupt, greedy asshat company, could be adding stuff that is killing you to the cigarette. So I could see how that could be, an obstacle to being pure on some level. But if you're sitting around with a peace pipe smoking it straight from, Chief Tatanka or whatever, I could see it not being that big of a deal. I mean, there's different perspectives. I heard Wayne Dyer, somebody that I really like, Richard Folsom, also the Redneck Spirituality 101. Wayne Dyer said that when you chain smoke and smoke cigarettes, you're putting out a death vibration. And I believe that there's levels to it. I mean, there could be a level where you're like, hey, give me the peace pipe, dude, and we're sending some prayers to heaven. Maybe that's cool, but you could be like smoking 5 packs a day. I could see how that might be abuse.
No, you're still smoking.
Yeah, but
you're still smoking.
There's moderation.
It doesn't matter. No. You're still smoking. You're still smoking. No matter what you're doing, you're still smoking.
I disagree with the pot thing. Come on, aliens put pot here. Come on.
Well, I'm just telling you. I mean, being unpure in physical and spiritual definitions is all relative. One person's pure, spiritual or physical, is totally different for another person.
Well, I also believe that, for instance, when we were talking about the GMOs earlier, if I sat down right now and let's say I ate a genetically modified piece of corn, and I sat there and in my mind and in my thought, I convinced myself that it was good for me, then I believe it would be good for me. I believe our mind and our thoughts can influence reality to such a level that you could eat a freaking rat turd and it'd be good for you.
Yeah, so and in some countries they eat a rat turd.
Yeah, and they
probably.
It's how you think.
You know what I mean?
It's how you think. And I believe all these people obsessing about GMOs and all this stuff and every little, thing's bad for you, they're also contributing to the death of themselves because they're sitting here obsessing, believing, thinking that this stuff's so bad, creating that reality, and they're killing themselves. So
it's all fear-based, and, like I've said 1,000 times, how do they sleep at night? I actually this week had to turn and hide those people on Facebook. I actually went down about, 9 or 10 pages, and probably 90% of all of my news feed were those people with, you're going to die from this, you're going to die from this, you're going to die from this. And it was just, I can't take it anymore.
I've been deleting a lot of people, especially truthers. I think there's some truth to the truther thing, but some of them are so crazy, I'm just like, you got to get off my friends list. You're driving me insane.
I don't even care if they're right. And Caesar, all I'm saying is that this has got to be dependent on the person, because the way you're talking is like, you already know 100%. You're speaking in total absolutes right now about what happens.
Well, anyways, I can talk to you talking about mentalism. For example, one of the first laws that we know about is the mentalism. You can create what you believe in. If you believe in positive things, we attract positive things in our lives. If, however, we get carried away by pessimism, fatalism, negativity, we're going to attract the same things to our own lives. That's one of the principles that we know about. This being told us also is not only the law of correspondence that we all know about. There's also the law of the principle of vibration. It vibrates. Everything is in motion. So you have to be careful with even what you say. You are as you decree, whatever you say. Like the Arab adage says, speak only when your words are sweeter than your silence. It's very important because with our own words, we can really damage people. There's also the principle of polarity. To every force is opposed to another one of equal intensity to measure the importance of the things you do in life. So if anything is going bad in your own life, you must be doing something good. I'll be worried if nothing is going on in your life. Because if you do good, you're also going to have opposition by the bad. You understand? So that's the principle of polarity. Okay? So
I'm with you on all that.
Okay.
100%.
So you understand that. That's the polarity, principle of polarity. The other one is the principle of cause and effect. Of course, you understand that. There's also the principle of gender and generation. Everything in the universe, it's complementation. Everything has its masculine and feminine, positive and negative. And then there's also the law of creation, to attract to my life the best, the positive, things that are good to me and not hurt me. Previously, you have to trigger the law of the secret, the magic, the word. so I can declare with conviction and attract to my life all that is positive, truly positive, and you will do that. You have to believe in it to create it. And
the law of attraction.
Right, that's the law of attraction, the law of creation as well. There's like 7 different ones. People got only obsessed with that one, but we need to know that there's...
I've been down that road, brother.
I just wanted to touch up on that. There's so much to cover, but, I mean, in a way I feel happy because I'm sharing some of the information that I know, and I would invite people, to find out more about yourselves,
Well, what if you're attracted to animals? We had a guy on here a couple months ago.
Oh, God.
Who,
But in what sense? I mean, if you're attracted to animals...
He's physically attracted to animals. I mean, where does he... and he's totally happy with his life. He's like, I'm open about it. It's like he came out of the closet. He's content and happy.
Going back to what I was telling you, okay, the reincarnation, what's going on, many people, we're eating animals like left and right, okay? All that, going back to cause and effect, how is that going to hit us back,
He belongs to the bad one.
Everything is going to come back to us, in one way or the other. So everything evolutionizes, and you're going to see so many things you won't even believe, especially from now till 2012. But
so
we need to
what's up with the aliens? I mean, there are points to where I get so frustrated with them. They seem like they're all like riddles and mystery and invisible, and why don't they just appear on a mass level? Is it because of our government? There's a frustration. That's why I'm so jaded with UFOs and ufology, and I'm pissed off at our government because they're just idiots, and they don't even talk about this subject when you have people like me that just went through, when I was 17, cancer and all that stuff, and then I have aliens appear and I go crazy, and then next thing you know, government and society just calls you an idiot and a kook, and, you're nuts. And then you have the aliens who are tiptoeing around like it's, like they're the Riddler from Batman, throwing little riddles at you. They only appear, they're invisible, and there's just this big plethora of, so I kind of have an anger and frustration towards the aliens and our government. Not as much the aliens as the government, but there's a frustration of, why not just come out, appear, and let's get it on. Let's do it. Let's get it on.
That's good that you touched on that subject. Let's quickly touch on the subject. They cannot intervene too much because this is our 5th attempt. 3 of those got abolished because too much intervention. The other 2 got, I guess, wiped out by meteorites or whatever. So they cannot intervene. They can guide us. That's why we call them guides. Okay, Guide Oxalc. They have their names, and so we call them by their names, but they cannot pass the test for us. Now, why don't you come down? They already did. For example, in Voronezh, they landed in Voronezh, which is a place, Moscow, in Russia. People get scared. National security. I mean, I'm telling you, this already happened. And they even gave a box with I don't know what in it to one of the people there. I don't know where it's at. I don't know what happened. Maybe government got involved. I don't know. But they already landed at one point in Voronezh in Russia. But what I'm telling you is this. If you look, you're going to find. You're going to find, okay? So right now, it's like, let's just become a better person. Learn about the process. Learn about the cosmic plan. Why are we here? Why are they showing up in our skies? I want to know what my role is if I want to do my job here in this part where I'm at in the States, for example.
That's my big thing, that I think a lot of these experiences happen to people is to wake us up to be messengers to awaken mankind. I believe that's why my experiences happen, and I believe that's why a lot of these experiences happen, is to awaken us to make mankind more aware of our star brothers and our galactic heritage, which is being denied to us by our government. And one reason I can understand why they don't appear here on a mass scale like they seem to be doing in these other countries, because here they're Christian and they're freaking crazy, and they will shoot them down and grab them and dissect it on a lab table. So I can understand why they don't do it here, because our government's insane. But
well, let me tell you something. We should not be worried about us shooting them. They can wipe us out even before we start shooting them. Okay? They're way too advanced. Now, in 1947, the UFO showed up by the Capitol. There's pictures before even the planes took off from Andrews Air Force Base. Okay? They were too slow. We are like so primitive to them. They're way too advanced. Okay? But we need to learn from these people. Okay? And it's not, they can really wipe us out, but they're here to help us. But at the same time, they are our past and we are their future, because they're learning from us the emotions, the feelings, and they're already doing it. We need to do our job as well. So we need to waste less time on little things that are not going to help us. We want to elevate our vibration, and there's ways to do so, and I can give you more information, of course.
So when it comes to 2012 and the illustrious date of this change, how is that going to take place? Is there going to be a lot of, disasters that are just insane to such a level? And has there ever been any talk of the whole New Earth theory, that is it going to be the same Earth? There's not going to be, how do you feel about the scenario that a lot of people talk about humans being brought to a new Earth on some level? Is that just BS? Or is there any talk of people being transferred to another planet? Or is it all just going to stay right here? Because, there's, of course, the Christian religions like New Jerusalem. You use the earth for an ashtray, so Jesus is here. And behind door number 1, you get a new earth. So do they ever talk about a new earth at all? Or is it always going to just stay right here, but we're just going to go into another dimension?
Both. This is going to become a new Earth starting 22nd of December. It's like Earth is giving birth a new Earth, okay? It's like a woman giving a birth. You have all the pain, the dizziness, you throw up. That's exactly what we're seeing. Look around you. We are seeing it already. So, let's just think. What's going to happen? I want to go to 4th dimension because I want to stay here. I don't want to be born on another planet like Earth now and stay there for another 25,000 years. I think I'm better. I can give the best of me and move up a notch and give the best of me into my family as well, okay? But it sounds a little selfish. You need to change yourself before your wife or your partner, whatever, yourself first. You know what I'm saying? So learn. It's just learn. You need to learn about what's going on and forget about government, forget about Illuminati. Just be aware. They're there, but like I said, if you see obstacles in your life, you must be doing something right. So feel happy. I'll be worried if nothing goes wrong in your life, okay?
Yeah, I must be doing something perfect right in my life, if that's the case. For real.
I don't know. I'm just sharing the information I have.
Yeah, it's good information. I agree with you on many levels.
So let me tell you, Sixto was in a UFO, and he saw on a screen the future of Earth, okay? A lot of big ships, wars. It was so dramatic, because not even one of those bombs can go off, because Earth will be wiped out. Okay, so he saw the future of Earth, and he was even sobbing. So it's serious. I'm not supposed to share all this information.
What happened? Did he pass away? Where is Sixto now? He's passed away, right?
No, he's not.
He's still alive?
Yes, I've been in his house. I've been fortunate enough. But what I'm telling you is this. He saw visions of the future of Earth. One thing I'm going to tell you right now, and I think I even highlighted it here, all this can happen, but it does not necessarily have to happen. We need to become more sensitive through fasting and realize that we can change things. All the things he saw was for a reason. Oxalc lifted his cheek up because he was almost sobbing when he saw the future of Earth, the probable future of Earth. But we need to change that. We can change that. You know what I'm saying? So they saw us, the probable future of Earth could be this. They already saw that. If things go berserk or whatever, of course they can see us and they can come pick us up and just leave. Fine. That would be the worst case scenario. But we don't want to let it happen. We we trust that all this is going to have a good way out. We can make the change, okay? If the bad things happen, we know what plan B could be. They already told us that too. But we happen, because all the nuclear arsenals can go off on its own place. And guess who has the nuclear arsenals? You answer that question, So that's, I'm living here in the States. My kids are here. So what do we do to change this? You know what I'm saying? Start rushing down south, crossing the border, going to Mexico, going to South America because, that's the safe place to be? No. You got to make the changes here where you are. It's not a runaway. You got to do whatever you think. Put your hand in your heart, and what can you do to change to make this world better? Okay? We already know what the probable future could be. Okay? I already know. So I'm just sharing this with you.
Well, right now it's so evident throughout society and the media and the world that we're on the brink of absolute, complete Mad Max apocalypse. We're sitting right on the tightrope. The economy, people say it's going to collapse again. It still collapsed from the first time. We're so close to complete Armageddon on a level of food prices are rising. There's just so much corruption that we're on the brink. It's like all of the thoughts about the world ending from every belief system and religion, and no matter if you think it's going to happen or not, it's like it's accumulating right now, and someone just lit the fuse. That's the point we're at right now. There's no bones about it.
And I can tell, respecting all the religions, all I can tell you right now is just follow your heart. Okay? Just go ahead and follow your heart, and people from different religions are being part of this group, and they're seeing the experiences, and they know what things are happening. We're not alone. We've never been alone, but Illuminati is working 24/7. So, and everywhere, even in the Vatican, even everywhere, Hollywood, everything, government, everywhere. So we just need to be awake and just realize the world we're in, and we need to make that change for ourselves. Sounds selfish.
So do you think these corrupt people like the Illuminati and people who are in power that are corrupt and bad, are they in league with the bad aliens? On some level?
Yes, I know that the bad aliens who are here already, they're aging fast, okay? So they're getting more desperate, kind of, okay? Because they cannot leave. And they're aging fast. So in other words, they are, infuriated. They're angry. And that's where you're going to see a lot of, temptations, bad things happening left and right. But just think about this. There's more good people than bad people on earth. That is a fact. Okay.
Well, I know that there's the fall of Lucifer, Christian religion, and then also in the Aramaic belief system, there's the fall of the jinn, which is very similar, and to me, some may disagree.
Exactly.
It seems like the same beings. So apparently these are the bad beings that I think come to earth.
Yeah, Lucifer is a being way up there, 10th dimension. Okay, luz comes from light in Spanish. Lucifer, an angel almost, okay? It's like an angel, but a bad angel, because he turns his back. He did not agree with the cosmic plan. And guess who followed him? Satan, Satanael, from Orion. So there's good people and bad people on Orion. The good people from Orion are in Ganymedes right now, helping us right now. They are, most of them, coming with their ships to help us, aid us, guide us right now. So we're a product of them. Many people have come to Earth to do a lot of things, to take gold, silver, whatever, okay? But they know the rules. If you take something, you got to give something. They know the rules. So even our holes in the atmosphere, they've been closing because they were probably taking something, and they got to do something to help us out. So what's going on right now, we need to be aware of what's going on. Satan comes from Orion. Okay, but Satan and company are working right now, and they're everywhere, okay? And I would say maybe even mainly here in this country. We see it all over. But you check it for yourself. If something is really going berserk on your life, you better be doing something good. That's the way you measure, okay? If nothing is going on with your life, I'd be worried. That's all I can tell you. That's the only way you can measure if you're doing good or doing bad.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, There's always something screwed up going on with my life, so hey. No doubt about that. So, what about reptilians? I've had experiences with beings that are very serpentine-like, very snake-like, very reptilian. Who are they? Are they the bad ones, or are they like just a different species? Do you have any information about them?
Yes, Orion people at the beginning were reptilian-like, okay? Not anymore. Now the Orion people are not reptilian-looking, but originally when they came actually to Easter Island, you can even see their forms and stuff, and their paints and the different stones, reptilian-like, and they were there. Like the Atlantean, like the fallen angels who had sex with the terrestrials, they were the Atlanteans, you know. Thoth the Atlantean or Samson, they were Atlanteans. So they were high, they were evolutionized, you know. But the reptilian-like are from Orion. And like I said, Earth was a place where everybody would come and do whatever they needed. You know, it was a place that nobody would pay attention to. But guess what? This is one of the special planets with blue aura. And right now, it was the chosen planet from all these beings higher up. So with the prior permission from God to do this experiment so they can relearn the feelings. And they are already learning it through us. So everything is going, but we got to do also our part. Okay? That's pretty much all I can tell you.
Well, what I think is these beings created us, of course, we know that. And when it comes to ufology, they're all looking for evidence and all this stuff. Do aliens exist? Do UFOs exist? And if you look through civilizations from Mesopotamia to Babylonian to Sumerian, these beings have left their blueprint on these ancient civilizations that are basically keys to us now that, yes, we're from the stars. I mean, you can just watch Ancient Aliens, for Christ's sake, and the evidence is right there under our noses the whole time. That's what I don't understand why what everybody in ufology is looking for. It's like, what are you looking for? It's right under your freaking noses. Just study ancient civilizations.
There you go.
I don't get what everybody's searching for.
That is a good observation. One other thing I want to say is this: how they travel in space, because distances are so big and so huge. They use the stars to use it as highways, and they travel so fast. And if you fold a sheet of paper, they can go from point A to point B. They don't have to travel mile by mile, okay? So they can go from past to present in a snapshot, just like that. That's why the UFOs that you see painted on the caveman's walls look the same as the UFOs we see nowadays. How can that be? They don't change their models? Like Toyota does every year, change their models? It's because we're seeing that. For them, time is not the same way it is for us. So just folding a sheet of paper, they go from point A to B, and they travel so fast that way. And that's one of the experiences that was also told to us, how they travel.
Definitely. So do the beings that everybody's meeting with in these countries at these waypoints, if you will, are they the ones who created us, or do they claim that it's their creator as well that created us?
That is a good question. We are a product, okay? We are like, first of all, it's like there's no life on Earth right now in real time, okay? We're like on a matrix kind of thing, okay? So the way we have inside of us, we are a product of, for example, the Orion people. There is that part of that is on our beings, okay? But we were created for that purpose itself, to recover these people the feelings they lost, okay? I can tell you one thing also, now that you touched on that subject, about the image of us. Let me see here, reincarnation. Because we were created in image the same as God, but, you know, on not physically speaking, okay, but on the ability that we have to become such a better person, okay? We can, for example, during our astral bodies, we can do so much. We can travel everywhere we want to and do a lot. We can even cure people on our astral bodies. So we just need to relearn this whole process and find out why all this information has been hidden away from us, you know? Anyways, we know that all the dreams are astral journeys, but not all the astral journeys are dreams. And right now, we need to learn more about that, you know, because many people have premonitory or premonitory dreams. And many times we tell our kids, you're watching too much TV or whatever. No. Many of these kids, like the Indigo kids, they're coming nowadays to teach us. We need to learn from them, because people are being reintroduced on Earth also. So these people are coming to teach us, you know, one way or the other, you know, to let the information loose. Maybe even Dion Assange, you know, having all this information being revealed. You know, tell us about this guy, his past, where he come from, you know, who he is, and he's doing all this maybe to move consciousness, so people can realize what's going on, you know. I need to tell you something. The truth is within us. We need to look inside of us. And the good way to do this is through meditation. I can help as much as I can. You have my email, Cesar.Radegui@gmail.com. That's CESAR.REATEGUI@gmail.com. And I don't know if you have any further questions.
Yeah, one thing that I've learned, and I know this is in a lot of belief systems, but one of the things that I learned it from was Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh, some of my favorite books I've ever read. And basically he was a homeless guy that lost everything, broke his neck, lost his marriage. I've tried to get him on the show, but he ignores me like a douche. But basically he touches base on the fundamental spiritual fact that we are all one. And by sitting here and meditating on that fact and realizing that we're all one, that means that we're all one, even with these beings that we're speaking of now. We're connected to them. And by being all one, there's ways to even, you know, get into their mind and their consciousness. I've sat around and, you know, meditated, or, you know, call it what you want, the imagination, which I believe imagination is just another word for traveling mentally and spiritually through other realms of thought and consciousness, is to, you know, you can get into their mindset, their frame and perspective. And we are all one. These beings, especially, you know, even the bad ones, unfortunately, but definitely the good ones, they are us and we are them. We're all one. We're all family. And by meditating on that fact and thinking about it, I've sat around sober, mind you, and sometimes not sober, but I've projected my consciousness into other realms, other planets. I've remote viewed inside ships that are in our solar system or in other solar systems, and I've seen inside of them and seen different beings, and this is a skill that's just learned by knowing that we're all one, and that is a big thing that I believe that leads to spiritual enlightenment and to being in touch with these beings, is to realize that we are all one, that we're all one, you know, like the Oliver Stone movie with Sean Penn, and a crazy movie, if you've never seen it, called U-Turn by Oliver Stone. There's a shaman on a street corner, and he's blind, and he goes, man, I don't know the exact words, but he basically goes, man, we're all heads on the same body. And I believe there's a great truth to that. And by realizing that and thinking on it and meditating on it, you can definitely align yourself to, you know, the thoughts of, you know, the perspectives of these beings. I mean, just sit back and imagine that, you know, use your imagination that you're one of these beings coming to visit Caesar and take him through the Luminec door, and imagine that you're the being and think what's going through that being's head and mind and soul, and you can actually tap into that and try to learn, you know, the perspective of where they're coming from. And that's, you know, shamanistic practices and stuff like that. But definitely We Are One is definitely a good starting point, I think, meditation-wise, to realizing that we're all family and connected. As for the bad ones, you know, I do believe there are bad ones, unfortunately. Just have a bad uncle who's a Chester the molester or whatever, you know. that's just a part of life, unfortunately. But I definitely believe that, for your second time on American radio, I just want to tell you that I think you've done very greatly, and I've enjoyed having you on the show, and definitely a lot to learn, and I do feel that you're touching on some pivotal things that are important when it comes to these experiences from a spiritual perspective that needs to be embraced more by everyone in ufology to understand what's going on. And yes, science is important too, even though I like magic better than science. Science can kiss my ass. I'm the Merlin wizard type. I like magic. So, if you don't like it, bugger off. That's just how I look at things. But I do believe that what you're touching on is, important information. And I do believe that's why you've had a lot of your experiences, because you are, here to help humanity on some level. And I think anyone that has these experiences, that's what their goal is, if they don't let fear eat their lives up and see it in a negative perspective. And, of course, if they do have fear in these experiences, it could be from this as well. So I don't want to, make it seem like Candyland either. But I definitely just wanted to say that, and I wanted to thank you for doing the show and consider you a friend of the show. So I really appreciate it, and it was great. I'm glad Thomas hooked this up with you.
Thank you so much, Jeff. I want to thank Tom Reed as well for the opportunity. I'm glad I was invited. I enjoyed your questions. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll be glad to do this again if it happens.
Yeah,
yes, thanks for coming on, and sorry if you think I was giving you a hard time. I wasn't. I was just just trying to get a better understanding of what you were saying.
That's just what he does. I'm just
no.
All right, man. Thank you, and thanks for doing the show, Caesar. We'll be in touch again. Take care.
Thank you so much for the invitation. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye. Yeah, baby.